Need of insurance, call Maryland. The telephone number is 755-7252. Or you may call at home, and that number is 427-8399. The first part of our program today is in memory of Dave Carr. They call him Big Dave. They call him David. A member of one of the strongest families in America, the Carr family. David Carr, one of 14 children born to the late David Dial and Susie Carr. Susie Carr, a mother, a strong mother that worked hard to encourage her children to support her son, David Carr. But it was Monday night, February 17, 1992, that David Carr went home to be with his God. He was in the garden, preparing food for his family. In the garden, there were greens that were coming up. In the garden, he fell. And then the words came, sorry, I had to leave in a sudden kind of way, but I had a friend to say he needed me today. I didn't have time to call or even say goodbye, for his friend of mine was in a hurry, so I did not even try. I know you would understand, 'cause that's the way you are. Don't worry about the distance, 'cause it's really not that far. Don't wait up, and please don't cry. Besides, did you hear me say goodbye? Dave Carr, a graduate of Dungy High School, a member of the St. James Baptist Church of Spencer, Oklahoma, a soldier that served in the Army with dignity, a young man who loved music, and a musical career spanned over a period of 40 years. On next Friday, David and I were scheduled to be on the program at McGuire Plaza. We had been on the program together for years. His saxophone echoes the music as played by our forefathers and by our fathers. He was an expert saxophonist, scheduled to be on program again. He had brought so much happiness, so much love, so much warmth to the people at McGuire Plaza, and they loved him with a passion. But yesterday, hundreds of people gathered at the Christian Life Missionary Baptist Church at 11 o'clock to say goodbye to David Carr. That was music. Organ prelude by Rose Harris. The scripture by Reverend R.M. LaFall. That was a prayer by Reverend L.R. Drinkwater. And then it was quietness. It was a silence like I'd never witnessed before. The quietness as the audience, not tense, not sad, read the obituary. Then the resolutions and Miss Funchies sang Sooner Will Be Done with the Troubles of the World. And the eulogy was delivered by his former teacher, his pastor, Reverend W.B. Parker, and it was over. How do you say goodbye to David? We don't say goodbye to David. Rather, we say thank God that he gave us opportunity to know David. And today on the Clara Luper radio show, we extend our sympathy to his lovely wife, Wilhelmina, to his sons, Steve and David, to his daughter, Angela and Lawana, Stephen of Oklahoma City, and to his 7 sisters, Hannah, David Lee, Minnie, Elsa, Geraldine, Marilyn, Camille, and La Francis, all of Oklahoma City. To his 2 brothers, Joe and Ernest, and to the members of his family. Yesterday, so many people came up to me and said, Clara, I know how close you are to this family, and you're right. I've had the opportunity to teach most of the children in the family and many of their grandchildren, and I always consider them as my children. These are mine, my children, and today I know that we will gain strength through our children. But I would not dare go into this program without listening to David Carr's favorite song, Amazing Grace, how sweet it sounds. Aretha Franklin will sing it for me in memory of David Carr. Courteous, Edwin Ernest Jr., Lee Macaulay Jr., John D. Overton, and Maurice Macaulay Jr. And it was goodbye. As I passed by, I saw the saxophone on his lapel. Silent now. Only memory. Thank God for memory. Today's program is being brought to you by Dr. A.L. Dow, your optometrist, located at 934 Northeast 8th Street in Oklahoma City. The telephone number is 235-0536. If you want your eyeglasses fixed quickly, if you want to really see, if you want a thorough eye test, go to Dr. A.L. Dow, 934 Northeast 8th Street in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. It's no secret. He's the top barber in Oklahoma City. That's why so many people go every day except Sunday to Gates, Sunday and Monday, to Gates Barbershop, located at 2609 North Martin Luther King Avenue, here in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Mr. Willie Gamble, and sometimes I think we don't do enough talk about Willie Gamble, but Willie Gamble does outstanding work, and he would have to be good to work at Gates Barbershop, where they are making people beautiful. Open Tuesdays through Saturdays from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. And when Gates and Gamble says 8 a.m., they mean it. 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. at Gates Barbershop in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Did you forget your sweetheart on Sweetheart's Day? Well, every day is a day to show love. That's why you can go to Exotic Flowers, 424-7659, or you can call 424-7659. I'll go by 3671 North Everett Street in order to send your favorite young lady some flowers, or your favorite mother some flowers. It's no way that we can thank the owner of Thompson Shardina's Daycare Center for all that she has done for Freedom Center. We cannot thank her for her devotion, for her financial support, and for her dedication. We cannot thank her for her selection, for the beauty, the happiness that she has brought. So today, Gloria Matthews, wherever you are, we would like to say thanks, and we would like for people to go by and see your child care center, located at 1643 Northeast 50th Street here in Oklahoma City. That's Johnson's Shardina's Daycare Center. You can also go to Chauncey Shardina's Daycare Center number 2, located at 2611 Martin Luther King, 427-5274. Now, some of you want to know if she takes drop-ins. Yes, you can drop your child by, and your child will be taken care of. Not only taken care of, but that child will be educated. She also has an after-school program, and I would like for you to just go by and see the equipment, see what she has to offer. Don't make a decision about your child until after you have gone to Thompson Shardina's Daycare Center. As we prepare for Easter, we want to look good for Easter. That's why I'm urging you to call Sir Charles the Tailor, 737-7600 in his new location, 1024 South Douglas, and tell him you need a tailor-made suit, a suit that fit your body. In the weeks that have passed, we've talked to you about Robin Parks. But today we want to tell you about Carolyn Crump, a member of the Pardon and Parole Board. Now this is what she says. There is so much doubt, so much conflicting expert testimony and evidence that Parks deserves life. For over 13 years, he still continues to invent and produce. Now this is what Carolyn Crump said. Now Crump has been criticized by her fellow board members. Now this is a shocker. The Oklahoma Eagle in Tulsa, Oklahoma has obtained a memo from fellow board member Marzie Douglas of Ardmore, Oklahoma, a black man, asking Crump to hold her peace. Now this came after Crump had an article in the McAllister News Capital and Democrat, which she was criticized because she wanted more information on the Parks trial. Parks is a black man scheduled to die on Oklahoma's death row March 10th for a 1977 murder of a gas station attendant. He has exhausted his appeals process, and the only thing that appears to stand between Parks and death is Oklahoma's Governor David Walters, who can issue a stay of execution up to the last minute. Now, I want to repeat that. Only Governor David Walters, and I would urge all of you to call Governor Walters to ask him for a stay of execution for Robin Parks. Now, I don't think that's asking too much. We saw last week where a man who had killed 15 people got life. And from Lady Rosalind Carter comes a letter. Justice will be subverted if Robin Leroy Parks is executed. I therefore urge you in the strongest terms to commute his death sentence and ensure that a thorough re-evaluation of the evidence against him is conducted. Now, Crump says that there is some doubt about whether or not Parks is guilty. Now, I would like for you to call the governor. I would like to see people go out to the governor's office. Let's save Parks' life. Now, there was a man that I read about that shot a man 5 times in the face and got life. What is it? Why is it that this state is so anxious to kill Robin Parks while others are still living? 84 people have been executed in Oklahoma since 1915. Now, of that number, I want you to listen to this. 32% have been black. We've got to save Robin Parks. Well, today's program is being brought to you by Hometown IGA Grocery Store. They also have a pharmacy there. They have fresh meat and produce, and it's open 24 hours. I want you to look at the ads in the Black Chronicle. I want you also, when you go into that clean, beautiful store, to look for the ads, and you may pick them up there. And Danny and the entire staff would like to thank you for visiting Hometown IGA. Eugene's Hair Connection is located at 1907 North Clason. The hairstylist is Eugene, and Eugene is all excited because he has the opportunity to show you his skills. Very skillful. If you need a perm, a relaxer, a curl, a clipper cut, hair cutting, finger waving, all you do is to call Eugene, 557-0119. The shop is located at 1907 North Clason here in Oklahoma City. Well, we've had a lot of talk, and people have called me and asked me questions about what did I think about Mike Tyson. And many of you out there are afraid to give your opinion. I am not afraid. I can hardly wait. Letty is here this morning. I know this is going to be a sharp show. Calvin is here. Maurice Harper is here from Muskogee, and we're going to have a time. And they got the audacity to ask me about that Mike Tyson case and that young lady that's involved. Letty, I'm ready for your first question.
Mrs. Luper, I'm really interested in this case because, number one, I'm wondering why did she give Tyson her name, her phone number, and her room number? Because I was told when they called, they didn't hardly know how to pronounce her name. And I'm wondering why did she, out of all of the girls that were there, she gave her name, her room number, and her phone number. And I'd like to know who pulled her clothes off. Because if it's a vicious man, I've lived a long time and I've come in contact with a lot of people. Because if he's vicious, he didn't pull them off. He ripped them off.
Okay, now wait a minute. Let me make my position very clear. And today I shall give you, the people of Oklahoma, an opportunity to express your view. After seeing a young lady on television last night, I am convinced that it's a big joke. Now, in the first place, under the rules of the pageant, at 1:30 a.m., the girls were in bed. And
that's where the instructors, the advisors told them to go.
Everybody thought they were. Now, in the first place, let me answer your first question. Right. She gave him her telephone number because she wanted to. Now, all of this innocence, I'm a Sunday school teacher, what kind of Sunday school teacher would get up at 1:30 a.m. and go to a man's room? Now, that's really something. And let me tell you something about white men on that jury and also that attorney. If we are discussing rape, we must turn the pages of history back where from 1619 to 1865, white men raped black women, and I have heard anybody counting the rapists throughout the year. Maybe in Alex Haley's Roots, we had an opportunity to see some of those rapes. But white men, and I'm saying this in front of white women because white women realize that black people didn't get those gray eyes and blonde hair from blacks. So white men have been the greatest rapists of all times. Now, in the first place, I do not believe Miss Washington, because if Miss Washington had been sincere about taking pictures, the Omni Hotel is prettier than the Canterbury, and they have a waterfall where the water falls just like a sheet. If she wanted to take pictures, all she had to do was to tell Mike, come on, let's take some pictures. Talking about, I grabbed my camera and we want to take some pictures to show to my daddy. Her daddy was in the hotel. Her daddy and mother were in the hotel. All she had to do was to call her parents and say, I have Mike Tyson down here, but let's take some pictures.
Ms. Luper, since you was, she said last night that her daddy was a very good friend and a close observer or something when Myson was wrestling. I cannot believe...
It was boxing, wasn't he?
I mean boxing,
okay.
Yeah. But I cannot believe that her father was such a good friend to Tyson and she did not know, did not hear, did not see this intellectual girl in the paper about Mike Tyson's wife's divorce. Because it was on the TV, it was in the newspaper, and it was in the magazines. And you mean she did not read it?
She said she didn't know anything about it, but she did know how to give a man that she had never met before her telephone number and room number. And then if she had been sincere, the Sunday school teacher, she would have asked one of the girls to come and go downstairs with me because I'm going to meet Mike Tyson. But did she? No. Rather, she stated last night that she invited Tyson up to her room. Now, can you imagine a Sunday school teacher inviting Mike Tyson up to her room, and she doesn't have any boxing skills, and I will never believe that Mike Tyson raped her, because the next day, I was in Indianapolis, she was practicing as hard as anybody else. We didn't see anybody getting any pain pills for that young lady, and certainly, if she had had the experience that she had, she couldn't carry on.
Were you there that night that this incident took place?
No, I was not there that night, but we came in the next morning. Is that
Well, we came in early that next morning. We had an opportunity to see the beautiful Miss Black America pageant contestants practicing for the pageant. But, I'm sitting over there listening to you all talk about the Mike Tyson experience and the Desire Washington experience, and you seem to be missing the point.
What is the point?
This point is that the young lady was totally just awed by Mike Tyson.
What?
She was just excited by the fact that Mike Tyson would choose her, to ask to come
How
see
did she know he selected her? There were 23 other girls there.
Evidently, he told her, and he said, "Young lady, here is my phone number."
No, he didn't give her. He didn't give her.
Well, let me get it straight.
Okay, get it straight.
Young lady, I'd like to see you later on, and I know you like to be
He
in the
didn't
world.
say that, Cal.
He didn't say anything
She
to her.
gave her, she walked over and gave him her name and her telephone number and room number.
And then when he called, I'm certain that she did ask one of her roommates or one of the other
She
contestants
did
to
not
go.
ask her roommates
Maybe
who
we
were
didn't see
with
the
her.
same program.
But no.
Because I'm saying that Mike Tyson would do what any world champion would do when he's around beautiful young ladies. He would give them an opportunity to get to know him better.
What about
That's
you,
what-
Calvin? What about you?
Well, I was there in Indianapolis.
No,
but I
no,
didn't
I mean,
invite
as a
anyone to
man,
my
You
room.
didn't invite any of the young ladies.
But I
to
wasn't
your
the
room.
world
And
champion.
none of them gave you their room number and telephone number, did they, Calvin? Nobody gave it to you.
No, they
And
didn't.
Calvin, if I would give you my name, my room number, and my telephone, and I'm in one hotel and you're in the other hotel, what do you expect, or what would you think I was giving it to you for?
Well, Mrs. Sumner, I know that I have a dynamic personality and all
Of
that. You
course,
would like
of
to meet
course.
me and all that, but
I'd like to
the
meet you.
circumstances are different.
But I met
here
you
in
on the
Oklahoma
field.
City than they were in Indianapolis.
Okay, I would like
This
to-
young lady was there to try to be Miss Black America. Mike
Then
Tyson was there.
why didn't she concentrate on being Miss Black America by getting some rest in place of getting up at 1:30 a.m., leaving her hotel, getting in a limousine,
I'm
and then
trying
she...
to defend them both. Because
Okay, all right,
I know
dude.
the girl was young.
Where were the telephones, Calvin? Where were the
That girl was
telephones?
18 years old.
But
And
she-
you know, you have a telephone and you don't have to dial but three numbers,
Okay.
911. That's all over the world, 911.
Well, Mike
and
Tyson probably
she
had-
was crying, so all she had to do was knock that telephone
cried.
off. And yeah, that's
wasn't
what
crying when
she
we
said.
saw her the next
Knock off
morning.
that
She was laughing
telephone
and dancing
dial
like everybody
911.
else.
Well,
That's all she had to do.
It's
And
a
why didn't
sad-
she
it's a
scream?
sad
She
state
said
of-
last night she just cried. Why didn't you scream? Why didn't you knock on the walls? Why?
It's a sad state of affairs, and
Okay.
I can't answer why
Okay,
it happened,
okay,
but I do
Captain.
know this,
Okay.
that I feel sorry for Mike Tyson, not because of the rape, but because of the fact that, there's so much
I
publicity
feel sorry
behind
for
it.
that girl because last night she didn't look like a person that didn't have all of her belongings. She said Mike Tyson was crazy. But from what she said last night, now let me show you what crazy is, as I see it. If somebody offers you $1 million to do a television run and you go do it for Barbara Walters free, what has Barbara Walters done for black people?
I have no idea, but I bet you could. I bet there were a lot of us that were glued to the TV set last night because we really want to know the truth.
And I think Barbara
it's
wanted to
interesting-
know, too.
It's interesting just what the reaction would be from your listening
Okay,
audience.
that's what I want to do, and I'm going to
Okay.
give my listening audience an opportunity because within the next 5 minutes, I'm going to give them an opportunity in order to call in and give their opinion.
Yeah.
Now, and I know there are a lot of, you go to conventions, you sell, there are a lot of preachers, there are a lot of fraternity men that will always flirt with young ladies. But any young lady that's had any kind of training would know not to give a man her telephone number unless she had some interior motives.
Well, if I was Mike Tyson, I would have looked forward to that phone call because I know.
But you were there. You didn't get no telephone call. Nobody gave
Well,
you
see, I
no-
got there the
nothing.
day after Mike, and probably wasn't nothing left.
But I understand that her mother was there the night
Her
of the
mother and
incident.
father was there. Why
But
didn't she tell her mother and father?
But the
when
TV
got
said
back
she
that
came
night?
in afterwards.
All
I
right.
want to know, was she there or wasn't she there?
Her mother and father were there. The young lady had been raped, she said, and she came down to the Canterbury Hotel. Why didn't she tell the security? Why didn't she call the police there? When she got back to the hotel, why didn't she call her mother and father? Then why did she wait until the next morning after rehearsal and then went to the hospital? Why? And
Went to the hospital. Did they give us the hospital report?
Oh, yeah, they had the hospital report.
I didn't
You
hear
can't
it last
tell-
night.
You can't tell the real one from the false one. And if Mike Tyson had done everything that she could, that girl couldn't have danced and she couldn't have thrown her legs way up like she was doing. Are you all what's wrong with
Because
people?
we are women and we do know.
You know, those listeners to the Clara Luper radio show know how I feel about it, and I know Mike Tyson is just a human being. He just happens to be a world champion, and he's a very strong young man. And,
Well, she said he was crazy. If he's crazy, then the jury, if she told them that, they should have given him psychiatric
a
treatment.
lot of people that he's fought have said the same thing. You know, Mike Tyson's crazy the way he beats up on people.
But I would like to say this, and I'm proud of my Miss Black Oklahoma contestants, because from the first time that we sent a girl anywhere, we've had men to flirt with them, but our girls are so intelligent until when one asked her, and this Mike Tyson didn't ask her for her telephone number. She walked over and gave him the telephone number. And then when she said that she came out and saw Mike Tyson sitting on the bed with just shorts on, and she had shorts on too, and a beaded bra and all of that. She had that on. What could she have done when she stepped out? And she stated in her testimony that she sat on the bed by him to look at television.
And then, Mrs. Luper, I understand that she is saying that it wasn't until the act began that she told him to stop. Now, Sarah, you've been here a long time, and I've been here longer than you. Now, that's just like George